Quinfall. When you dropped that trailer 2 years ago, you had the MMO RPG community gripped by their balls. We wanted nothing more than to play the game. Anyone I spoke to, anyone who saw the video, it was amazing. Like, that trailer truly was amazing. And recently, we got a chance to play Quinfall, and in this video, I'm going to show you what Quinfall was like to play in 2024.
You can visit shops and taverns run by other players, play board games or mini games with others. 2016 square kilometre land, improving your riding mount will grant you
So I was over the moon when I received an email with a bunch of keys to play Quinfall. Now, I was supposed to give them all away on stream. I think I gave 90% away, and then I gave a few to some of the Pirate Gaming boys. And the reason being is because with an MMORPG, you want to play with some friends. So a bunch of us got together to try Quinfall out for the first time. So we'll break some things down and go through them sort of chronologically as we experience the game. So first things first was character creator. Now, credit to Quinfall, actually, the character creation screen is actually pretty good. They've got a lot of details here, but you kind of expect it these days. Like, this is kind of the norm to have a pretty decent character creator. It's an important part of the game, especially if you're going to play a game for a long time. You want your character to be personal to you. What I did find was that they had some orc-like characters, so these characters had green skins, and we also found what looked like an avatar character. So there was blue-skinned characters. Now, I didn't, throughout the game time, I didn't realise what they were for. I had no idea if they was part of the lore. I just didn't know, and I didn't look deep enough, and I didn't really care enough, to be honest. But there's lots of different options when creating a character, so no fault there. Once you've created your character, you get met with this huge sort of intro to the game, and it's like, it's actually not bad. but it feels very AI. It doesn't feel like someone has voiceover this themselves. It feels like they've got an AI to do it. I don't know why. Maybe it's a placeholder, but this was kind of cool, but at the same time, kind of a letdown because it just felt very fake.
A representation of his arrogance, a planet covered in damp and wet soil, leaving a dirty impression. As he roamed among the planets, none satisfied.
Once you pass your sort of the intro there and a bit of an information about Quinfall, you're met essentially in what is the tutorial area, telling you to run with WASD, you know, left click, right click, whatever. But instantly, this is when you get to see your character and feel how it's going to play. And you can feel already that this is very different from what you saw in the trailer. It feels like we're going back to an early arcade or something like that, where the character feels overly responsive, and it doesn't have any movement when you strafe left to right, and it just feels bad. Like, it just doesn't feel good. This was one of the downfalls, and like instantly I was like, okay, this isn't the end of the world. They can again improve the character feeling and modeling and whatever. Let's give it a go. So anyway, we played through the kind of tutorial and ended up meeting with the guys in the town. It was pretty simple tutorial. It is what it is. Then we created the guild, kind of got together and started doing some questing, and this is when the game really made me feel, I don't know, I was sad. I feel like I'm going to cry. I was so sad. I really get behind any MMO. It's the genre that I am so passionate about, and I want every single game to succeed. And these guys have come under some flack, you know, buying assets off stores and, you know, yada, 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 yada. But credit where credit is due. It looks like they have a lot of systems in place. And that's a good thing. There's a lot of systems. There's your mounts, there's your husbandry, there's the crafting, there's the gathering. There's a lot more, and I can't even think off the top of my head, but there's a lot of systems in this game that are there. They're just not really... They don't have no meat to the bone, man. There's no meat to the bone, and the UI's a little bit old school, and there's bright pink markers, and it feels... There's something about it feels... It's just not right. It's just not there. And you know, sometimes when you play a game and you feel that you feel that it has a future. I don't want to say a bad word about the game. I just don't. I don't like shit talking on them. But this doesn't feel like it's going to go anywhere. Even if it has another 2 to 3 years worth of work, it doesn't feel like it's going to go anywhere. You sit on the horse and the horse is very rigid. You jump through the sky and your arse is like lifted up, and it's just like. People will like it. I think there'll be a small audience for it, but you're looking at like, you know, you'll be running around the world and there'll be no one there. It's just not there. Anyway, it seems like they've taken some elements from other parts of the game, other MMOs that have succeeded. Like, if you look at the map, it's very, very reminiscent of Black Desert. Anyone who's played or even just seen Black Desert Online, you'll be like, oh, I recognise that map. And to be honest, that was kind of my real first impressions. I was like, oh, damn it, it's over. So we then got into a bit of questing. You probably see from the footage, I look like I'm playing a game for the first time. There is something very strange about the way they've set up the keys. They're just odd. The layout of the keys is odd. You probably would want to sit and remap them all to something that makes sense to you, because yeah, they're all a little bit strange. How you summon your mount, how you combat, and yeah. Anyway, so into some combat. Basically, the first quest was to go and kill 50 enemy creatures. Now, this was quite nice because it did. If you had a teammate and they were killing them too, it contributed to the quest, so you could quest together, which you don't see a lot in many MMOs, is the ability to quest in the open world together. Anyway, first piece of combat. The trailer looked superb with the combat. My first few swings of the sword. It's so meaningful when you have a feeling behind this. There's nothing there. There was just nothing there. It felt like, this is going to sound really dumb, but it felt like playing a video game. Like, you are really behind the character. Whereas some of the games we played, dare I say it, New World's a good example. The character feels good. The combat feels good. The feeling when you get hit feels good. You know, you really want to immerse yourself into it. This is just, you're so disconnected from the character and everything around you, and it was just not great, to be honest. I really, really think that they could do something with it, but it's going to take a lot of time, in my opinion. So after some combat, we got notified that there will be a PvP battlegrounds happening. Arena battle, capture the flag. Join, yeah, let's do it, shall we? Go. So we were already getting flung into the battlegrounds. So this was cool. So we met up with the boys, we got together, and we went into a capture the flag match. Now, even though we were in a party or we were in a guild, we got separated. So there was 3 teams, and we were split between these 3 teams. Right, time to get in and check out some combat, I said. God damn, man, the Discord blew up. The Discord was blowing up with everyone just laughing and trolling, because it just didn't feel right. And nothing felt right. The combat just wasn't there. It was laggy. It was very sluggish. The animations were bad. You're kind of locked in when you're swinging, so the PvP was quite static in terms of, you know, what could or couldn't be done. Obviously, no one really had any abilities or armor at this point, so it was basically, you know, a bunch of level 5s running around swinging their starter weapons at each other. But you can still get a feeling for how the rest of the game's going to play out as you know, would move to mid and end game, I guess. Anyway, yeah, got some combat down, had some fun, beat up each other for a bit, saw some mages, saw some bows, and yeah, killed some medieval and killed a bunch of the Pirate Game Boys and got killed a lot. But in essence, that was kind of where we ended. While I was playing this, I was at the Pirate Gaming meetup, so we had an IRL meetup with the guys from the Pirate Gaming crew. I was actually sat on I was sat on Beastmother and Strife's driveway at this point. You can see the plug behind me. I was plugged in, and it was time for some rum and food. So we kind of ended there because the servers went down, and I caught up with the guys on Discord after. But honestly, this is where I stopped playing. I just said to myself, this is a real beta test, like a real beta. It's good that they've let people in. It's good that we've had the opportunity to see it and talk about it and give some feedback. In essence, for me, there will be a very, very, very small audience that will play this game. There are just other games out there that you would play that are succeeding. Why would you jump in a new MMORPG that has far less than other ones do, that they're out and has a solid player base? Why would I play Quinfall when I could play Guild Wars 2, for example? Like, why? That's the question I would ask myself, and I just wouldn't. I really just wouldn't. There is no reason to play it at this particular point. Now, like I've said, everything can be fixed, right, with the right team and the right effort put into it. So I wish them luck. I probably won't be following Quinfall until it ever releases, if it releases. But just be cautious, I guess, if they ever ask for money, because this beta test really kind of showed that it's not really ready yet. But you guys know, I follow PAX Day. I love investing in things that have a transparent development process and a good vision. And Quinfall does have a very, very, very good vision, but it's a very, very, very long way from that vision. Anyway, thank you for watching. If you made it this far, I appreciate you very much. And yeah, see you on the next one. See you for some TNL.